So, it's Halloween today in 2020, and I've been struggling to think of a video to make up, but I decided to try my hand at making a video. Today I'm going to be describing libertarianism, the different types of libertarianism, and is libertarianism still a viable political choice in the 2020s and beyond? So, to give you a basic interpretation of what libertarianism is it is the political philosophy in which it's about free will, basically. It's about freedom for the individual. That's pretty much the most oversimplification of it, but I'll give you like different examples of libertarianism. For example, and this is going to be an oversimplified thing about libertarianism. So, like, why I'm a libertarian, for example, is I believe that people should be able to not have, like, overbearing government, especially with the massive surveillance state brought on by the Patriot Act because of the Bush administration. I'm also for legalization of drugs, like marijuana, and I'm still not comfortable with like cocaine, heroin, and all those drugs, but that's just my opinion. There are probably other libertarians who, would be like for, legalization of meth. I'm also pretty much pro-gun. If you want to own a firearm, I'll probably make a separate video on my thoughts on guns later, but I don't want to get too distracted. And also, as a libertarian, I also believe that everybody should be treated fairly and equally without the need of a government to enforce whatever laws that have equality. And some people might find a flaw in this because, not inherently everyone is good. There will be people who, will abuse power or will, just not in general will be a good person. And there are some people who do use libertarianism as an excuse to use the ideology for bad things. I'll probably make a video about what I disagree with other libertarians also. But to not get distracted, there are different types of libertarians. Now, I don't have the image right now, but there is what's called the Overton window. So you have the authoritarian right, the authoritarian left, the libertarian right, and the libertarian left. I've got a few images right here on my Streamlabs thing to kind of describe briefly about the different types of libertarianism. I probably would make a part 2 because I only was able to find a few of them. But we're going to go ahead and briefly talk about paleo-libertarianism. Paleo-libertarianism is a variation on the right-wing and the libertarian right. The best way I could describe these is somewhere within like Alex Jones, alt-right, and Catball, that kind of stuff. For a time I was one of these kind of people, but later there were things that I disagreed with the libertarian right in general, as well as paleo-libertarianism. It's basically a variant of paleoconservatism with free market, things associated with like anarcho-capitalism. Kind of like the worst of two worlds. You've got like extreme nationalism meets free market capitalism. And doesn't really, I don't agree with it, especially that there are a lot of racist, homophobic, misogynistic, Islamophobic, whatever. So I generally don't agree with paleo-libertarianism. And here was a kind of libertarian thing that I pretty much was for a while, and that's geolibertarian. The best way to describe geolibertarians is that they believe that the land shouldn't be owned privately, but rather owned. It's kind of similar to communism in a way, where it's owned by everyone, but the land can be rented. Geolibertarianism I can consider like a liberal form of libertarianism. It's not very far left, but it's what I kind of became for a while when I did a what type of libertarian are you quiz. When I ended up with that, I actually looked it up, and there were things I agreed with. So the best way I could describe geolibertarianism at best is basically liberal libertarianism. And the next one I'm going to talk about briefly is libertarian socialism. And libertarian socialism has parallels to anarcho-communism, democratic socialism, anarcho-syndicalism. The best examples I can give of libertarian socialists would be Murray Bookchin and Noam Chomsky. Those are the two that come to mind. But what libertarian socialism differentiates from democratic socialism is that libertarian socialism is more decentralized. It still focuses on individual rights, but it also focuses on like a safety net of sorts, kind of like in other socialized countries where there's protections for the poor and the disabled, as well as protections for women and people of color in those societies, but the government isn't like big, authoritarian, and overbearing. So it's kind of similar to Nordic style of socialism, but far more decentralized. There's also a variant of this called council communism, which is instead of having a hierarchical government where you elect your president, Supreme Court, Congress, and all that, you have a council that is elected to do whatever it is that needs to be done. And the beautiful part of that is if they don't do their job, you can vote them out much more easily than what we have currently. But pretty much those are brief videos I wanted to make. I probably will make another video on this when I get more sources, but just wanted to make a video. So if you like my channel, please hit the like button and subscribe, and I will make more videos when I can. This is the Agnostic Libertarian signing off.